Alright, little pump. I brought your snacks for the video. Oh shit. Oops. There you go. Hello BSS, welcome back to a new video. I have missed you guys since last Friday, and hopefully again this video is going up on a Friday as well. I am going to try my best because today is Thursday and I'm literally going to film this, edit, and then post it all before tomorrow and have it hopefully ready up for you guys. But anyways, hello, welcome back, or if you are new here, hi, my name is Brenda. I go by Beyond Belleza. If you would like to join my little community of Bellezas, all you have to do is subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss a new video. Also, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoy it whatsoever, because it really does help out my channel in various different ways. Now, with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's video. And as you can see, Lil Pump already got his snacks ready to go and he is comfortable, and I hope that you guys are too and that you're excited for today's video. Now let's get into it. Oh, Snickers bell. Okay guys, so as I said, I have not had a lot of time to put these videos together, so I did write down some notes and I'm just gonna read off of them the leyendas for today. And as you could probably already tell by the title, I am gonna do another video about leyendas from Mexico, and usually I've stuck with like Jalisco and like Juchitlan and like, you know, those little areas because that's just where my family is from, and that's the first thing that I put in on Google. But today I just did Mexico in general, so I was like, wherever it's from, I just want to see what they have for me, you know, what's in store. So okay, so the first one is gonna be about a puppeteer. So his name was Jose Oviedo or Oviedo. There was two different spellings on the article that I was reading, so I'm not really sure which one it was, but he went by Jose de Oviedo or Oviedo, whatever. Okay, anyway, so he is from Celaya, Mexico. I think that's how you say it, because I don't think it's Celaya, but Celaya, Mexico. Okay, and from what the article has, this is basically what I translated over, and because I read through all the Spanish articles. Okay, so basically this puppeteer, he went by Capi or Capi Oviedo, I don't know which one of the two, but he would put on these shows on like the street that he lived on, and sometimes he would put them on in his own house, so people would come inside of his house and he would put on these little puppet shows and do little choreography with them and so on and so forth. And he was very popular apparently, so lots of kids would come with their parents and they would come watch his show, and they loved it, you know. So he would put them on all the time, as often as he could, since he did have so many people from all over that wanted to come see him. Apparently, I never heard of him, but he was popular. And before reading this story, I had never heard of this either, so by the way. So he had this like stage, like a mini theater made out of velvet that he put together himself apparently, and he would put on the shows in that little theater. And he says, or the story says, that he started noticing in his house, like when he would come back from doing the shows, he started noticing that he would hear footsteps from the little tiny footsteps that the puppets would make basically. And he thought it was strange at first, didn't really think anything of it, and then one time he saw that there was two puppets on the ground that looked like they had just finished doing a little recital or something, some dance of some sort, because of the way that they had landed on the ground. I don't know how he came up with that, but that's what he said, or that's what the story tells, that that's one of the first instances that he noticed that the puppets were, you know, doing a little something weird. So the next thing that he says that happened was that he kept hearing footsteps coming towards his door, and then nothing would happen. He woke up one night and he heard footsteps approaching it, and then just standing at the door, and then he ended up just falling asleep. I guess he probably disregarded it and he was like, what was that? I don't know. So the next morning he wakes up to see that all of his puppets are scattered all over the ground, and he's like, he has no explanation for this because he lives by himself, so he doesn't understand how all the puppets got up out of their place and they were just scattered everywhere. So he goes, because he gets scared from this incident, so he goes to a Catholic church to get them blessed. So he gets them all blessed and he's all like, okay, we should be good now, good to go. I think all my puppets got no more bad energy, whatever. So he some time passes and he continues to do his little shows with his puppets, and people are still coming to see him and so on and so forth. And apparently, or allegedly, he says that, or they say that he says that he was doing a show one day and he was holding one of the puppets that was dressed as a judge, and the puppet slowly starts to turn its head because he was obviously facing it towards the people so they could see him, and the puppet on its own, the head starts turning slowly, and then it comes face to face with Jose. And Jose, obviously, I think he would be freaked out. He looks at the puppet, and the puppet makes like an awful, like horrific face at him, and Jose, like, he obviously is terrified. And then at the end of the show, he like finishes the show. First of all, okay, I would have been out of there. He ends up finishing the show, and then once he gets home, he takes all of his puppets and he buries them somewhere. And after that, he didn't do a show anymore. He was like, ma'am, not today. He gives it up completely. And then the people from the town say that they rarely ever saw him in the city after that. So it really triggered him. I think I would have been scared as fuck, especially doing that for a living. I would have been out. So that's what ended up happening. And then I don't really know, because on the article it didn't really explain how this came to be. Like, I don't know if where he buried them, or if he told somebody where he buried them, but apparently they were able to salvage some of them, and they are in a museum somewhere. I'll insert a clip of the little thing that I found too, of where they are in the museum.
Dice que de repente sintió un frío y al ver el muñeco que canonizaba un juez, volteó a verlo, se le queda viendo fija los ojos y le lanza una expresión de burla. El muñeco se dice que hasta la fecha sigue conservando esos rasgos, que es este muñeco de camisa morada. Yo este muñeco en una ocasión tuve la oportunidad de verlo de cerca. Está muy...
But yeah, guys, that is where the puppets are now, and that's where they reside. So anybody could go see them, and you know, I'm pretty sure the tour guide like exaggerates it up to make it a little bit more like crazy, you know. But that is what the story or the leyenda says for that one. So that was pretty creepy. I hate dolls. I hate all of that. So you would not find me anywhere near any kind of doll. I hate them. They always just, even if there's nothing malicious around them, they're always just up to something. Like, you look at their eyes and you're like, I don't trust you. I don't like you. When I was younger, I used to really like dolls, obviously, of all kinds. I even had one of those Annabelle dolls. I think they're called like Annie or something. But the alleged Annabelle doll that's like has a demon attached to it. I had one of those when I was little. So I don't know what was up with me back then. But I like stuffed animals now. They're like squishy and they're nice and they always look really happy. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. I'm gonna move on to the second leyenda. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so this next leyenda is actually in a hospital that is close to the cemetery of Belén. So, el Panteón de Belén, which is also a very popular like leyenda from Guadalajara, I think is where it's at, or somewhere in Jalisco. And it's also very popular. A lot of different things have happened there. So this hospital was next to that cemetery. So we are already like in a spooky area, okay? So this story goes that there was a very young patient there who was dying of cancer, and the doctors at this point, there was really nothing that they could do. I don't really know what point in time this was, but even now, many people die of cancer, and sometimes there's no cure whatsoever. And then I'm pretty sure back then it was even harder to find some kind of remedy for the pain of that cancer causes in people, so there was nothing that they could really do now, and his family was religious, so the most that they could do was pray for him and do like little things for him. So the story goes that one night his mom, while he was sleeping, and by the way, this kid's name was Santiago apparently. So while Santiago was sleeping, his mom comes into his room and she puts a little stamp. I think it's a stamp. The video, not the video, the article says it was estampita, so I guess it was like a little stamp. But anyway, I'm getting too into the stamp thing. But anyway, she puts a little stamp of his favorite saint. I don't know which saint it was, and say, but she put it on him while he was sleeping, and then when he awoke, he all of a sudden was super angry, and he started cursing and yelling, and he told his mom to get out of his room, and he was really mad, and for some reason he just started saying that he doesn't believe in saints and he doesn't believe in his mom or God, and he's basically just angry. He tells his mom to get out, and this is all just because she came and put a little saint on his hand, and nobody knows where this came from. I think it was like just like a random outrage that he has never acted out like this before. So his mom gets like really worried, but I guess she left him alone. And then the story goes that the next morning he wasn't in his room anymore, and they went out to look for him, and they passed by the cemetery of Belen, and there's like a tree in that cemetery, and they find him hanging from that tree with folded sheets from the hospital, and he obviously himself. So they end up like finding him and his body, and obviously I'm pretty sure it was like something awful to find out about. But the legend goes that after this happened and he was buried in that same cemetery, they cut the tree down to a stump, so there's nothing left there. It's just like a stump. But people allegedly say that at night you can see a full shadow, with the moon, you can see a full shadow of a complete tree, and then also the shadow of the boy hanging from the tree. And as much as that is scary, it's also super sad, and that was like the last moment of him after all of his suffering from cancer. I'm pretty sure he was fed up with having to deal with all of that. And I feel like sometimes once you're at that point with so much pain, you don't believe that anything will help you, and that is your last resort. But yeah, super sad story, and also very creepy that people say that they see the tree, and even though the tree isn't there in the cemetery anymore. I thought that was a really scary legend. When I was reading it, I was actually like I got like chills a little bit, and I also got sad at the same time. But yeah, that is my second leyenda. I hope you guys like that one. And now on to the third one. Okay, so the last one is a little bit shorter. It's like short and simple and sweet. Well, not sweet, it's pretty scary. Okay, so this one is about La Fantasma de Lazaro Cardenas. So or I guess they call it La Mujer Fantasma de Lazaro Cardenas. So basically it's the ghost woman of Lazaro Cardenas. So Lazaro Cardenas is like an avenue, I guess you would call it an avenue, yeah, an avenue in Guadalajara, and it is one of the main avenues to enter and exit the city. So it's kind of like a freeway basically. So the story goes for this one that there are a lot of accidents that happen on this avenue, like a really high amount, more than normal, more than anywhere else in the city, allegedly. Because I mean, we all know that auto accidents happen very, very often. It happens to anybody for any reason, just not paying attention or whatever it may be. But this legend says that the reason that there are so many accidents in this road is because drivers say that a woman appears out of nowhere in the middle of the road, and it causes them to swerve out of the way, and then they crash into another car, or they crash onto the shoulder or whatever. And as soon as she appears, she disappears at the same time. And some of the drivers who have survived this accident say that they swear that they saw a woman, and then they got out of their car and there was nobody around, and they have no idea like what just happened, but they crashed their car obviously, and they have no explanation for it. And a lot of people just dismiss it as like they weren't paying attention, or they just made this up to like not get in trouble for not paying attention, even though it's like really far-fetched. If you were to tell this to a cop, they'd be like, are you on drugs? So basically that's what people say. So there's even drivers that say that she appears so suddenly that they don't even have time to swerve. They literally hit her, and they actually feel like her body getting trampled underneath their car, and they'll pull over, and then they'll get out, you know, very frantic, like they just ran over somebody, and then nothing is there. So it is super creepy and it's eerie. I was like, this reminds me of so many different other like movie scenes where this happens, where people like swerve out of the way even though this person's like see-through. But it is super scary. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it, is that people see this ghost lady and she appears out of nowhere. And some people from Guadalajara say that this could possibly be a woman that was murdered on that same avenue. It's like a freeway, so I don't really know how somebody could murder somebody on the road, unless they murdered her somewhere else and then dumped her body on the side of the freeway or something. That's the only reason that I could attach or put that together, because I was like, with all these cars passing by in this road, how can anybody get murdered there? But I don't know, that's what the people say. That's why it's called a leyenda, a legend, you know. But it's scary, and when I was looking it up, it immediately like intrigued me, and I was like, I gotta cover this one. But that is the last one of my legends. Let me know if you have ever heard of any of these 3 leyendas from Mexico, because I certainly have not. And I usually look into different leyendas, but I feel like they always get overshadowed by like the main ones, like El Chupacabra, La Llorona, and that's all I could think about. But they get overshadowed, you know. And there was a lot of other leyendas when I was looking them up. There is so many stories from Mexico. It has so much history, so many things happen there, and as Mexicans, I feel like we're all very superstitious, we're all very spiritual, and you know, everything, I feel like all that energy just stays there, you know, for a long time. But I am super intrigued by these, and I hope that you guys are too, because I want to give you guys content that you want to see. And yeah, I hope that you guys just enjoyed this video all around. Please leave me a nice comment down below and let me know what you guys thought about this, and if there's anything else that you guys would like me to cover that I haven't covered yet. And just let me know what else you guys would like to see. And yeah guys, that is it for that. And before I do go, I want to give a comment shout out from my last video. Okay, so my last video was the reading subscribers paranormal stories number 2. Also, make sure that you guys send me some more stories for that little series. Okay. So my comment shout out is gonna go to Bunny Rabbit Plays right here. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. I really do appreciate it, and as always, I love having conversations with you guys down there. So always make sure to leave me a comment so I know that you guys enjoyed the video. And again, Give it a huge thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. That is all, guys. That is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching and for being here with me today. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye-bye.
First time I saw you, girl,